Alright guys, so we're working on Swiss here. Obviously we're taking the yen, Swiss yen. If you followed the last video you know why. Swiss is indeed the highest changing currency at this time, reflected excuse me, on the moving averages. If we were to look at the numbers, we would see a larger increase in numbers relative to the other numbers. However, on the numbers board, we can't store that information consistently enough in our heads because it's just too difficult. So we're using the charts to store that information. We know that the moving averages count the numbers in time accurately. We know they're using the 4,000 moving average as the maximum, which will represent balance. What we're going to do is we're now going to try to do a video where we use the Swiss to as the follow as what is going to follow the Swiss kind of thing as it develops. Let's go over to I'll just show the rest of the Swiss currencies now. We're not going to be selling dollar because we see strength in dollar, so it will drop less than the other ones. We're happy to be short New Zealand because it's very weak, but I don't want to sell it down here. I'm happy to sell the pound here, given what we discussed in the previous video on the indexes. And euro is strong, but what we're seeing here is a little clue that these numbers recently in time have dropped. If you look at the moving average for pound, it's here, so it's just curled. I believe that euro showed a little bit more weakness than pound during this time. We'll look at the numbers here as well. We're going to go try to fix this here, and we're going to continue this challenge here that we're working on, and we're trying to get to 5 million from 5,000 or 10,000, whatever the plan was originally, in demo. If we can do that, then we're going to go live. From that point, I will not be making any more trading videos. We will have a live room where anyone wishes to join, they can, but at that point you won't need to join because you'll have all the information you need. However, you may get bored and may want to be part of a group during the day, as many of us do, if we have cancer energy, and it will be well worth the $1,000, and we will a month. Those people will be invited. I will be contacting them directly. I know I've removed comments, so it seems like nobody's getting energy. This is all by design. I know exactly who the long-term followers are. Those people I will be inviting. And then after that, we'll be walking around the streets handing out money to people in front of government buildings, assuming the cash is still in existence when this happens. Because if it's not, well, we're going to have to do it in another way. But that's what we'll be doing. And if someone wants to buy a helicopter, that's okay. If somebody wants to save it and help himself out, his family out, that is okay too. If someone wants to burn it all, that's okay too. So that's what we're going to be doing. Let's go over to the indexes So yeah, I'm sure it's been a lot of information for people to take on board, and it's changed many people's perceptions of this reality. But that is why I was sent here to share these things with you guys. Once we figured it out, and we needed all of this 17 years, 7, truth, Libra, balance, justice, the whole thing to put this together. All right, so here we go. All right, so remember how we have to do this now, guys. We need to look at what has moved the most relative to another one. We know this is green now, but the truth is it's still down. So relative to euro, it's not stronger. Um, Pound is still red. Um, if this was a euro pound, this would be a long. Pound is at this time relative to these two showing us the biggest decline, which would suggest we can hold the pound dollar short a little longer. Okay, Aussie's still weak. New Zealand's still weak. And then I'll go back to the Swisses, and I want to show you something there too. Where is it? Why can't I find the yen? All right, well, here's the Swiss at this time. We see a large move higher in the moving average. Okay, it's higher, it's more than the dollar, it's more than the euro. Okay, it's more than the pound. All right, it's more than the New Zealand. It's let's bring it over. Okay, it's up curve. It's more at this time than New Zealand. So what we would have seen in the numbers board during that time is a higher number change and faster number change than the New Zealand. But we can't remember that. The guys back in the day would write the numbers down, and they would remember this, but they would have a bias for the day of which direction. And I believe they would base their bias was based on following something, and they would look for the best discount. I think that's all they were doing in numbers, because they were just looking at the number board. We've seen these pictures of these guys. What else are we looking at? I'm trying to find the yen here. Oh, here it is. Is this it? No. Hang on. Is it here? Here? Hang on. Where the hell is it? Alright. I'll make another one, no problem. Here. Remember, we're doing the whole thing without looking at the other time frames. we can use them if there's a long period of time, which we can see on the 1 minute. But we don't have enough screens when we go sideways. That will happen at some point, and then at that point we'll just use the 5 minute to gauge where we're at. But we're still going to store the information on the 1 minute chart all the time, because this whole point of this is to prove that we don't need to keep flip-flopping between time frames, because that, I believe, is where everyone loses with their emotions. They think, oh well, the 5 minute may break the 1 minute, and then what if the 15 minutes stronger than that, and then perhaps stop it. Okay, just stop it, because that's what it is. That's the problem where people lie. It's fractals because everything is a fractal. This is one fractal. That's a fractal. That's a fractal. That's a fractal. Then this is a fractal, etc., etc., etc. It goes on and on and on. So during this time, we'll just go from here. Okay. If we go to here, where are we at? What we're going to see is a larger curve up here relative to the other currencies. Right. Now remember, we can cheat in time because we recognize that we may get to work at 9 o'clock. We don't want to wait for this to unfold. What has happened? Well, no problem. Let's go back in time, price. Okay, let's go back to wherever the hell you want. Make sure it lines up with the other ones, and then down. What has happened? Well, in time since today, pound LFX has come up here, showing us some strength relative to this. We already looked at the other ones. We know Euro's strong, but it showed us some strength. Aussie was weak, New Zealand was weak, etc. So right there, it's showing us a green box, guys. So this is a all-in Swiss yen move up, guys. I mean, it's just that simple. And I would be buying dollar as well. Which, in fact, let's do that for the purpose of this video. How many should we buy? Well, we're not going to take 12. We'll take 12 on the Swiss. But I'm happy to go 4. Okay, that's what we'll do. We'll just put that in here. And we're going to prove that we don't also need to focus too much on money management. That's another purpose here, because I don't believe everyone can be consistent over time with their money management approach. That's also an illusion. I've tried that. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that's the video. Enjoy. Thanks for following. Thanks for sticking with me so long. Congratulations.